mother wants me to go into the mortuary business like her boyfriend, Sheriff Ramirez, who moonlights part-time as the town undertaker. She figures she'll marry him soon, and I can become a partner in the family's business. You already have experience, mijito, my mother reminds me, and you have a good personality compared to that Hilario. Hilario is the sheriff's son. I've heard the ladies say he's good looking, but they're afraid to go out with him. They never say why exactly, but I figure it has to do with his work. Can't be natural to make a living out of handling dead people, Emma. It's hard enough to get dates these days as it is. She doesn't listen. She still thinks I'm the most popular guy in town because they voted me that my senior year. The same year I got the experience she's talking about.
Where's the van?
It's in the shop.
Hilario had hired me to transport a huge old Anglo lady that had died in Corpus Christi but willed to get buried in Freer, our hometown. Unfortunately, I didn't ask Hilario enough questions. I figured we'd pick up a sealed casket. You know, how hard could that be? What he failed to tell me, however, was that bodies in these types of situations are usually naked under a sheet.
You have to learn how to pack them correctly. So go. What? Go pack her. I'll be right back. Okay?
I've never been able to forget the way that woman's skin looked. She was the color of white melted candle wax, and her breasts were oblong like the squash my grandmother grows in her backyard. She was cold and heavy like a refrigerator, reminding me of the rubber-bellied frogs we used to split open in Mr. Freisenhant's biology class. And to make things worse, I had never seen a woman's you-know-what in the flesh. And unfortunately, my first one turned out to be dead, like a frozen Arctic possum, if there's even such an animal. I threw the sheet back over her, accidentally covering her sagging face in the process.
No, man, no!
What?
You want to flatten her nose like a pancake?
I'd never heard Hilario scream so violently. Apparently it's a cosmetic nightmare to place the sheet on a dead person's nose. An old mortician's trick is to bend a clothes hanger and put the deceased head on top of it so that the hook part of the contraption sticks up behind the nose, holding the sheet up like a tent. They don't pay us enough to be plastic surgeons, Vato. Don't be such an amateur. I was sorry I even came on this run. Not only was I hot and exhausted, I was starving and nauseated all at the same time.
Hey, Victor! Get out, straighten her out a little bit. What? Her feet aren't lined up. Straighten her out. You okay? Yeah. Get in the car. Come on. Yeah. That was nothing. That was nothing. You haven't lived till you've heard the whoosh. You know, the dead rasp and they whoop. You know? At the moment of their death. It's like a... Stop. It's like a woman coming or the dogs of hell barking. Either way. You haven't lived till you've heard that. The professionals, they call it the death rattle.
What?
Death rattle. Yeah.
Well, I'd never experienced anything like that myself, but it gave me a certain uneasiness all the way home to imagine it. We arrived in Freer after lunch, surprised to find ourselves stuck in traffic. We'd forgotten it was the first day of the annual rattlesnake roundup.
What the hell is going on? Must be the rattlesnake roundup.
As we pulled into the Sonic, we watched hundreds of people and their rusty campers from nearby ranches and towns, jamming the narrow streets, wanting a parking space close to the big tent where they milk the rattlesnake's venom. Eladio dealt with Ninfa, the cute waitress that looked like Ellie Mae Clampett, but brown. "What are you doing later?" "Why?" she asked, almost flattered. "Victor here is lonely." The poor girl rolled her eyes. She looked inside the wagon past Eladio to check me out, her breasts full and inviting like a grab bag. "You're Johnny Salinas' brother, right?" Girls usually ask that with the oddest expression of pleasure on their faces. Although I denied it, I was hoping to God that because Eladio was older, he would know how to read women better than I. Not that I was really interested in Ninfa, but I'd heard she'd go all the way with you underneath the football bleachers if you asked real nice. That's why her name got painted on the big water tower in bold letters. Right as we parked, the high school band finished marching from the 3-foot parade. They were assembling in front of the town hall across from the Sonic when I spotted Carmen, the head twirler.
I think she likes you. Cuídate, man. That girl could chum the rattles off of any snake. Woo! If only I were 20 years younger.
I liked Carmen so much myself I couldn't even bear to mention it. I kept my eye on her while Eladio dealt with Ninfa.
Are you thirsty, Lucy? No?
Not missing a beat, Eladio turned to me and said, "I guess she's not thirsty. You take it." The poor girl screamed like we pulled a knife on her and ran terrified into the restaurant. Eladio enjoyed scaring her so much, I understood what the ladies were talking about when they called him strange.
What?
Inside the tent, I was attracted to the booth where the rattlers were slaughtered and cooked to look like fried chicken. I had noticed the crowd behind me until one of the snake's head was torn off so viciously it drizzled red rain everywhere. As fate would have it, the worst of it landed on Carmen's metallic twirling uniform as she stood nearby watching. With superhero reflexes, I ran to the snack bar. I grabbed some napkins to wipe the reptile blood off of her. It had gotten all over her pantyhose and hip-hugging twirler uniform. When it finally sunk in that I was on my knees wiping Carmen's legs with my hands, I froze. "Don't stop," she said, smiling at me with her Charlie's Angel face. "I'm gonna have to take these clothes off." I swallowed hard to imagine for a moment what she might look like. I had an extra t-shirt and a pair of jogging shorts in my backpack, which I offered, thinking she would pass. And to my surprise, she took them and asked me to wait for her. When she finally came out of the porta potty with my clothes on, it was like looking at myself, but with her underneath. "My mother's gonna come looking for me. Can we go somewhere?" We headed outside towards the unpaved, dusty Caliche parking lot, looking for the first unlocked truck we could find. It didn't occur to us that we were breaking and entering, since we were not intent on stealing anything. We just wanted a quiet place to sit for a while. First truck we saw was a white 1964 Chevy pickup. It was perfect, we thought.
Is this your car? Oh, what?
I just want to talk, that's all.
Yeah.
My license just got suspended.
Yeah?
I wasn't even that drunk either. So, did they hold you back or what? Did you fail a grade or what?
What?
I never see you around with anyone.
Oh. Oh, well, I have friends.
A girlfriend?
Nope.
But you've kissed one, right?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. Then show me.
moments we were both breathing hard, like we just run the 50-yard dash against the other. She, of course, won the race. Before I knew it, I ended up on my back with Carmen on top of me, swaying like a snake does when it comes out of the basket and dances for the charmer with the flute. The way she moved over me back and forth, and round, made me feel like the horse ride you put a quarter in at the grocery store. She started to whoop and rasp like she was choking on something. Her eyes rolled slightly behind her head. I worried that she was having a seizure. My mother is epileptic, and for a moment she looked just like that, right as the seizure is coming on. I now know she experienced the death rattle with me. I've heard several ladies experience it since, but none as sweet or effortlessly as Carmen's. The beauty was she did it all on her own. I was just there. It's flattered me 1,000 times since to remember it. I would give anything to hear her death rattle again, this time from inside her. Somehow.
¡Ay, Dios mío! Victor, I'm gonna tell your mama. Victor, I get good.
All I could see of our captor was a pair of chalky Mexican sandals with stocky dry feet and pink toenails. We had chosen Mercedes Diaz's truck, the nosy, righteous school cafeteria worker who was an unbearable, faithful Jehovah's Witness. With every watchtower she delivered after that, she told the town about the shameless teenagers that broke into her truck to fornicate, making us the perfect examples for what is going wrong in these last days of our devil-possessed world. Surprisingly, I was very popular with the girls at school after that. I think it was the free press Mercedes gave me. Carmen's reputation, however, suffered terribly as a result. I guess she figured it was a lost cause after that to regain her former status, because she ended up getting pregnant soon after. Everybody assumed it was mine, but of course I never touched her. Not that way. My heart broke and my hair turned prematurely gray like a tombstone. The day her parents put her on a Greyhound to Rio Grande City, where she lives with her relatives to this day. My mother is crying and pounding on her heart with her fists, like she does when she gets mad at me. She's afraid I'll stay unemployed forever if I pass on the mortuary job. I'll join the army and mob before I have to mess with dead people ever again. As I hitchhiked to Corpus Christi to meet with the recruiter, I see Carmen spray painted on the water tower. I would have gladly married Carmen and pretended to be the real father. Anything to keep her name off that rusty water tank. I hated that any stranger could read her name on the way out of town.